First full moon after Easter is waning. Oh, there's the sun. But I think we'll get some more of it. I went over time the last 2 days. I was distracted. Just checking 7 minutes to 6. A little practical thing. A lot of people tell me they're not getting advised by Facebook that the live is starting. I'm not sure how it is with YouTube, but with Facebook and probably also YouTube, it's good to be subscribed or to follow. And Facebook, it's to follow and to like. If you follow and like a page, there's a much better chance, I think, that you can get alerted that there's something going on. And with YouTube, if you are subscribed, you should get a message when a live stream starts or when there's something new posted. So I recommend you do that. And if you have friends whom you had invited to the Sunrise Stroll and Chat, check in with them and ask them if they're getting it, and just give them that tip to do a subscription on the YouTube channel. There's no charge for that. There's no obligation. The only thing that happens is you get a word on your screen that there's a new video there. And the same thing with the Facebook. If you do a like and a follow, I think both of those are good to strengthen your interest in that page. Then you can hopefully get reminded that you're actually aware that there's a new post. And a lot of people have complained to me that they haven't been alerted, but then you have to be proactive in finding it. So don't wait for it to serve you on a platter. You go and look for it. And usually I think there's and I'm not expert on these things, so I can be easily corrected on this. There's a tendency in the social media to give you what you always look to see. So if you're looking for this in a habitual way, then you will be given it. And I know there are many, many people that have told me personally that they don't get notifications. So I encourage you to try again. And obviously people who don't get notifications will probably not see this or hear this today. So how are we going to reach them, you know? So that's a challenge. And then another final note about the Facebook thing. A lot of people ask to be friends on Facebook. And there's a limit of 5,000 friends. Imagine having 5,000 personal friends. So it's a little bit ridiculous. It's very hard it's impossible to even see all their posts. It's absolutely impossible. And there are a lot of other tasks and duties in a day. So don't be sad if you don't get to be befriended. There's nothing personal about that. It's just the impossibility of that. It's a limited thing. And that's why from the very beginning I started a public page, because one or two people who knew about Facebook said to me, it's going to reach that and there's potential for more at the Holy Land. Now there are over 11,000 followers, but that also got stuck at that number for over a year now. And that's kind of also strange, but that's life. And but by following, you do have a connection. And then just another thing about the French friends on Facebook. So those who are friends on Facebook, don't get disappointed. It's impossible for me to see all the personal comments and responses. It's just physically impossible, time-wise, because there are so many other things to do in a day. Yesterday, the whole day, I was blessed to be guiding different pilgrims, 11 Lutheran theologians from Central Northern Europe, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, some other countries. And then there was another group of visitors that wanted me to speak with them, and it just went down the whole morning until lunchtime. I didn't even get to my room between breakfast and lunchtime, and then right after lunch I had another group at 2 o'clock. And actually a group before that asked me, there was a group of Germans came, a small group, and I was requested to give them a tour, but I was only able to give them 20 minutes because I had the other group at 2 o'clock. So just so you understand a little bit, I'm not complaining. I'm just thrilled, I'm happy, delighted to be able to serve all these people. But just so you understand that I don't have time to be responding to all these Facebook messages. If there's serious issues, an email, WhatsApp message, something that's like very relevant and pressing and urgent and a priority, so it's possible to reach me. You could also send a message on the Magdala accounts, because they're one of the volunteers follow those and can alert me if there's something. And you don't have to put down the issue. You can just say, I need to have communication, and we can facilitate that. So there you go, just a little bit of technicals about these things, and I'm still learning a lot about them. I'm not anyways an expert in how all these technicalities work and how to get them to work better. But those little bits I recommend to follow, to subscribe on the YouTube channel, and to follow and to like, to follow the page and to like. And if your friends want to connect, make sure you tell them that as well, that it's not the friendship page and the Facebook for me, it's not an active thing. It's the friendship on the profile. There's a profile where all my personal profile is on the Facebook, but I never go there, and I haven't changed it once since it's set up. And that's, I don't know how many years, 6, 7 years ago or more. And then the page is where I'm active and where I put up the posts each day. Okie doke. So that's enough for these housekeeping issues today. And the readings today are actually very connected, even though they're two very different scenes and two very different sets of thoughts. But you could combine it with peace and turmoil, and also maturity in a way. And in fact, you might be surprised with this comment, but one of the images I was thinking was about a little girl or a little boy, and somebody touches his teddy bear or somebody touches her doll, and it's like a crisis. And within 2 decades, that girl might be married, and she might have her first baby. And there were so many things that happened when she was a teenager, when she was an 8-year-old, when she was a 12-year-old, and she was so sensitive, and she's so bothered, and like it's almost civil war in the house when there's some issue that didn't please her. And then she doesn't like to see anything ugly, and she just wants everything nice for her nice dress and all the rest of it, do her own will. But then she has a little baby, and she's like these two have their 4 little babies. And the baby is crying because the baby has a tooth coming or needs a change of diapers. And then there's a problem with what's cooking at the same time. And then she gets a phone call from her sister about something sad that happened. And then she realizes she forgot to call her mom, and her mom needed help. and then her husband sends a text and he can't come home that fast from work. The boss has asked him to do something else, and then she realizes she's missing some little bit of food for the baby, and she has to go out to the store. And suddenly that girl that was so put out by the smallest little action of her sibling, or her parents didn't respond 100% to what little caper she had. And this woman is managing everything, this young woman, and she's serene and peaceful. And she knows this is all part of the course, and her heart has stretched so much, she's able to handle all of this at the same time. Women are famous for multitasking. And this great strength, this great serenity, this great calm in the middle of so many challenges and things and difficulties. And maybe she's asked to lend a hand in some case that's suffering, or maybe some relative is entering the last phase of life and she has to provide a little bit of support, and more support, or a lot of support. And she's able to handle all these things. What a path of growth we go through in life. And you know, that only grows and grows and grows. And the same thing happens in the faith community as we grow. And one of the major accelerators of growth are difficulties, and even hostilities, and even persecutions, and injustice suffered. Those are the paths of growth. And when you look today at St. Paul, and they were stoned. Stone means they didn't take drugs. It means some people picked up stones and threw them at them. And here's a stone in my hand right now. Well, that's pretty dirty, so I won't show it to you. Let me get a clean stone for you. But you know what stones are? They're made of rock. And they're done around here that we just have all these little shells. But there's a stone here, but it was part of a fire. You see? They had a little fire here. A little barbecue or something. And they threw stones at them. And that's pretty severe, people. Just imagine the hostile attitudes, the aggressiveness, the hostility. And they continue teaching in the next town the next day, and they make lots of new disciples. And that's pretty severe when there are difficulties outside the community, against the community of believers. But then the next thing that happens is there are difficulties inside the community. Difficulties inside the community. And there's a big tension and a dissension, and circumcising, we need to do that with all these Gentiles because some people have come from someplace else, and they said that's what you have to do. And now there's a big dispute inside the community. What do we have to do? And so they go up to Jerusalem to deal with this. And they're going to resolve the problem. We'll see that in the next few days. Or you can read ahead if you wish, if you're curious. And so, and these two difficulties that Paul had are not going to be the biggest difficulties of his life. They're going to get more intense. And so this is why Jesus, then at the Last Supper, in the reading today at the end of chapter 14 of John's Gospel, it's such a beautiful chapter, And he says, "Peace I leave you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives it, do I give peace." Marvels of creation. This tree had a more glorious day. Peace I give you. Not as the world gives you peace, do I give you peace. The Roman Empire had a big slogan of peace. but it was peace through submission. Peace through submission. But that's not the peace Jesus gives. Although there is a dimension of the acceptance of God's will, but that's done in freedom, it's not done with threats. Peace I leave you, my peace I give you. Not as the world gives you peace. And it's amazing to be able to go through so many difficulties in life with interior peace. The capacity of the human being to live in peace, even going through the greatest trials, like cancer, tensions in the family, so many difficulties at work, challenges for the children. Let's leave it like this today, people. Let's enter into that peace, that maturity, that growth pattern, that serenity. God bless you. See you later, alligators.